If you like the idea of dividend stocks, but hate the idea of waiting forever to get paid those dividends, then this series is for you.
These are my people.
Welcome back to the channel, or welcome to the channel if it's your very first time here. My name is Troy, and in this series, I spend hours doing research to find the hidden gems of the dividend world so you don't have to. For example, this week, there were 168 stocks that had an ex-dividend date between August 18th and August 22nd of 2025. 47 of those stocks showed that they can not only pay, but also grow their dividend for at least 5 consecutive years. And only 14 of those stocks were able to make the risk of investing into individual stocks worth it by also outperforming the S&P 500 over a long period of time. I then took those 14 stocks and picked my 5 favorites to share with you guys today.
Where did you find this guy?
Now, it is very important that you guys watch this series when it comes out, which is every single Friday at 8 a.m. Central Standard Time, because every single stock in today's video is going to have an ex-dividend date of this coming week. And what that means is the ex-dividend date is simply the date you must own the stock before in order to get paid the next dividend from that company. Really quick, and before we get to the list, go ahead and tap on that like button to tell YouTube that you enjoy this kind of content. And let's kick this week's list off with number 5, which is Primerica, stock ticker PRI. Including today's video, this is now the third time this stock has been mentioned in this series, including back-to-back selections. And if you go back to the very first time I spoke about this stock, which was in episode 114, or August 16th of 2024, Primerica is having a really rough go recently, but based on the numbers you're about to see, I'm not too worried and view it as more of an opportunity than anything. PRI is a quarterly payer in the financial sector, paying $4.16 per share per year with a forward dividend yield of 1.61%. PRI has been paying and growing its dividend for the last 15 years. They have a 3-year dividend growth rate sitting at 23.9%, a 5-year dividend growth rate of 21.26%, and those high dividend growth rates are supported by a very low payout ratio at 9.16%. Now, at the time of recording, Primerica was trading 16.25% off of its 52-week high. They have an ex-dividend date of August 22nd with a payout date of September 15th. And looking at their chart, over the past 10 years, a single lump sum $10,000 investment into PRI would have grown into $69,283.23, which did outperform the S&P 500's return by $33,352.63 over the same time frame. Next up, coming in at number 4 on this week's list is LeMaitre Vascular, stock ticker LMAT. Including today's video, this is now the 4th time I've had the privilege of struggling through that name, including one selection in a row. And if you go back to the very first time I talked about it, which was way back in episode 10, or August 19th of 2022, LMAT has returned more than 83% since that first mention. So let's dive into this one right here. LMAT is a quarterly payer in the healthcare sector, paying 80 cents per share per year with a forward dividend yield of 0.87%. LMAT has been paying and growing its dividend for the past 15 years. They have a 3-year dividend growth rate of 15.28%, a 5-year dividend growth rate of 14.87%, and a payout ratio sitting at 32.19%. Now, at the time of recording, LeMaitre Vascular was trading 15.79% off of its 52-week high. They have an ex-dividend date of August 21st with a payout date of September 4th. And looking at their chart over the past 10 years, you can see that LMAT has a total return of 663.85% compared to the 259.29% from the S&P 500, which amounts to $40,456.61 more money with LMAT than the S&P 500. Next up on this week's list, coming in at number 3, earning the bronze medal, is Applied Materials, stock ticker AMAT. Including today's video, this is now the 9th time I've tried to tell you guys about this stock, including 7 selections in a row. And if you go way back to episode 10, which was also the first time I talked about this stock, or August 19th of 2022, Applied Materials is underperforming since that first mention, which is unfortunate, but you'll see here on the next 2 slides that it's pretty impressive timing on my end. AMAT is a quarterly payer in the technology sector, paying $1.84 per share per year with a forward dividend yield of 1%. AMAT has been paying and growing their dividend for the last 8 years. They have a 3-year dividend growth rate of 19.21%, a 5-year dividend growth rate of 14.33%, and a payout ratio sitting at 18.02%. Now, at the time of recording, Applied Materials was trading 14.29% off of its 52-week high. They have an ex-dividend date of August 21st with a payout date of September 11th. And if you look at their chart over the past 10 years, you can see that total return of more than 1,000%, which leads to an outperformance over the S&P 500 of $82,856.29. And really quick, before we get to the rest of the list, if you guys really want to help me continue to do this series and grow the channel, use the comment section down below. You guys can use it to let me know your thoughts on the stocks I picked in this week's list, or better yet, let me know what stocks you own from this week's list and how they're doing for you. But now, let's get to number 2. Next up on this week's list, coming in at number 2, and a stock I personally own, is Microsoft, stock ticker MSFT. Including today's video, this is now the 5th time I've mentioned this stock in this series, including 4 selections in a row. If you go back to the very first time I mentioned this stock in this series, it was in episode 100, or May 10th of 2024. Microsoft is outperforming by about 2% per year since then, so let's learn some more on this one here. Microsoft is a quarterly payer in the technology sector, paying $3.32 per share per year with a forward dividend yield of 0.64%. Microsoft has been paying and growing its dividend for the last 23 years. They have a 3-year dividend growth rate of 10.22%, a 5-year dividend growth rate of 10.24%, and a payout ratio sitting at 21.42%. Now, at the time of recording, Microsoft was only trading 6.01% off of their 52-week high. They have an ex-dividend date of August 21st with a payout date of September 11th. And looking at their chart over the past 10 years, Microsoft is currently sitting here with a 28.95% return per year versus the S&P 500's 13.64%, which isn't too shabby, just less than Microsoft, which leads to an outperformance on the side of Microsoft in terms of dollars of $91,277.87. And here it is. You guys made it to the number 1 stock that you guys must know about from this week's list, which is KLA, stock ticker KLAC. Including today's video, I've now talked about this stock in this series 8 times, including 6 selections in a row. And if you go back to the very first time I spoke about it, which was in episode 22, which was released on November 11th of 2022, KLAC has averaged over 39% per year since that first mention. So let's see what other numbers have me excited about this stock. KLAC is a quarterly payer in the technology sector, paying $7.60 per share per year with a forward dividend yield of 0.83%. KLAC has been paying and growing their dividend for the last 16 years. They have a 3-year dividend growth rate of 17.14%, a 5-year dividend growth rate of 15.39%, and a payout ratio sitting at 20.26%. Now, at the time of recording, KLA was only trading 3.28% off of their 52-week high. They have an ex-dividend date of August 18th with a payout date of September 3rd. And looking at their chart over the past 10 years, they have a total return of 1,944.69% and an average annual return of more than 35% over each of the past 10 years, which leads to an outperformance over the S&P 500 of $168,604.74. With that being said, thank you guys so much for watching this week's video. But before you go, there are 3 dates that you must know before you leave. This video comes out on August 15th of 2025. The earliest ex-dividend date from the stocks on this week's list is August 18th of 2025, meaning your decision to buy some of the stocks from this week's list is as early as August 15th of 2025, the day this video comes out, if any of these stocks caught your eye and you don't want to miss the very next dividend from those companies. With that being said, you 1000% missed every ex-dividend date from last week's list, but if you're still in the market for 5 super high quality dividend stocks, you can check that video out right here. But until next time, see ya.